Next part of our lesson is flexible behavior. So we got general understanding of how to work with geofences, but very important to react some way in case of something happened in geofences. Otherwise, it is useless. We have very different kind of reactions. So it is possible to send just diagnostic message. So for your convenience during testing at your table, you can play some audio files. For this, you need to connect some kind of speaker. Here you can, in the top, you can see the same check as we had a look previous time. So if we are inside geofence, if we are inside geofence, we are comparing our current speed with geofence property, which is located inside its name. And if it is overspeeding, so we're reacting. So message, playing audio file, opening the output. As for output, so please remember that you need to open it, then wait for some time. For this time, buzzer will produce the sound. And after that, if it is not okay, continue buzzering. And if we are out of geofence or speed become normally, we need to close output. But okay, we will discuss outputs a little bit later. So general idea, like normal check is like this. So playing audio files, sending SMSs, taking photos. Of course, you can use them one by one in some combinations, depending on your needs. As for geofence number, as I mentioned, geofence variable contains geofence number. If it is 0 or less, like -1, it means that we are outside of any geofence. If it is 1, 2, 3, etc., it is actually number of geofence in KML file. So if geofence is more than 0, it means that we are in no matter, but we are inside some geofence. So few important moments I want attract your attention to. About delays. Very often seen mistake when you do some kind of checks is people forget delays. So for example, you check that we are inside geofence, we have overspeeding, we reacted somehow, and after that we are just coming back to check. Our device can react rather fast, and it can done this check like several hundred times per second. And if you keep it without delay, it will do it each second. It will do 500 iteration of this cycle, and it will decrease its speed of reaction. So please remember that you need to put delays after the check. So check each 1 second, check something each 5 seconds. It is okay. There is no need to check it 500 per second. You will get a decrease of efficiency of device working. Next important moment is when we are talking about work with audio files. You need to have particular audio files format. Very often get requests to our technical support that I connected everything and audio is not working, and we are checking the format of the audio file and it is wrong. So please remember that it should have particular format, particular frequency. It should be mono, 16-bit, and please don't forget to put extension to the name of the file. So overspeeding.wav should be written inside the algorithm. If you just write overspeeding, device will not find it at microSD card. And remember to put microSD card inside the device. I very often forget to do this. That's why I'm talking about it. Okay. The next important thing and important moments. So even if you put some delay, and you're checking something each second, there are some things that you need to do some limited amount of time. For example, you have overspeeding, you need to take 3 photos, like with like period of 1 second, like photo, 1 second later, second photo, 1 second later, third photo, like 3 photos, and not taking photo all the time the driver is overspeeding. If he's overspeeding for an hour, you don't need such amount of photos of him overspeeding, I suppose. So for this thing, there is such important thing like counters, very highly, very important, very often used. What for do you need it? You need it for calculate how many times did you take, for example, photos, or how many times, how many seconds did you do this or that. Example with photos. So first of all, we will need two variables, so you create them in global variables. First of them I called counter, and the second of them I called number of photos. So counter is for counting, how many times did we count, and number of photos is like some kind of standard, how many times should we do this, because it from time to time it can be different. So it is better to put it to separate variable. We are starting our algorithm from the device start, then we set counter for 0 just in case, small delay. After that we are checking if we are inside geofence or not. If no, we are just going counter, wait 1 second, it is important in order not to cycle too much times, and that's it. If we are inside geofence, so we need to check speed. We are checking the speed. If speed is okay, we are again coming back, wait and check. So we are checking each second. If we are overspeeding, then we need to react. For example, we need to take 3 photos. Sometimes it's objective necessity to overspeed in case of some dangerous situation on road, and we need to check. Okay, what do we do? So we put additional condition. So we compare counter with number of photos. Now counter is 0. We didn't take any photo yet. And number of photos that we should take in case of overspeeding is 3. Counter 0 is less than 3. Yes, it is true. We are taking photo and we are increasing counter. And after that, we are going here and make our check again. If we left our geofence or if speed is okay now, so for example, in accordance with our requirements, we don't need to take any more photos. We go here, put counter to 0 and just keep checking. If there is still violation, so there is still overspeeding, we are going back, we are going here, yeah, overspeeding, and now we have counter like 1 and number of photos is 3. 1 is still less than 3, so we are taking additional photo and counter now is like 2. Coming back here, so and compare again. 2 is less than 3, take 1 more photo, increasing our counter here and coming back. And now 3 is not less than 3, so we took 3 photos, and in this situation we took 3 photos, and after that we don't react. We just keep checking, but we took enough amount of photos and we don't react, so we keep checking. In case we leave geofence or in case we drive have normal speed, we will clean our counter, and in case of new violation we will react again, but for this it is enough. So this is how actually counters work. So you can see very useful thing to implement in your work and in your algorithms. So one more important thing, rather simple, is additional point. What for is it used? For example, you have big period of data sending in motion, for example 30 seconds. So when when the vehicle is moving, device send points each 30 seconds. It is rather big period, so but you have, for example, some data traffic limitations and you have to do this. But in case of some violation, you need actually current position, current data, current speed, understanding of what was going on inside the device. So for this situation, you actually need additional point, like a point at that particular moment. And for this, you drag and drop block save point, you add it here, and for this very moment, you get additional point. So you can use it in different situations. So rather good thing. Okay, next thing I would like to tell you is settings. Our partners very often ask me if our settings influence easy logic. Yes, and how they are related. So idea is the following. Device work, it processes algorithms in accordance with its settings. So settings are more important, they have priority, and easy logic algorithm is looking at settings and working in accordance with them. And it is very important not to forget about this kind of settings when you're doing some algorithms. For example, about saving points, it is important when you've got big period of points recording. If you send data each second in motion, actually no need in saving additional point because you already have the maximum frequency of data sending. Besides, if you check some status of sensors, for example, we are talking about inputs, so we have analog inputs which are working like digital, and you set up logical 0 and logical 1, and depending on these ranges in easy logic, you will have status of input like logical 0 and logical 1. So algorithm will go to its settings, have a look at voltage, to which range voltage is located, at which range voltage is located, and depending on this, it will convert it to logical 0, logical 1, and depending on this, it will implement it in algorithm and go to this branch or that branch. As for outputs, so you know that we can change the state of output in easy logic, but it is based on basic settings. So by default, if the output was opened in the beginning of easy logic algorithm, if you check state of output, it will be in accordance with settings. And it is very important, for example, if you block the engine using output, not to implement configuration when device is in motion, because you, for example, send standard configuration, it's got closed output, and you implement it. And in this particular moment, device get configuration, output is closed, and it is blocking engine line in the middle of motion. So you understand that it can lead to car crash, and please be very careful with implementing settings during motion of the vehicle. So it's only your responsibility. Please remember that it is important. And as for example, serial ports, when we are talking about work with cameras, so you need to set up at first in settings, work with cameras, and only after that use block make photo. If you use block make photo, and here is in RS485, you have nothing, nothing will happen. So camera will not set it up automatically. So you need to set it. Okay, and one more important thing, it's kind of advice just based on my own experience of creating algorithms. It is always much easier to create big complicated algorithm from small one. So in order not to break your brain, I recommend you to write at first something small, like trivial, that you understand 100%, and after that, step by step, make it much and more complicated, as we did now, for example. So at first we wrote some small algorithm which is reacting on overspeeding, like with making photo, like rather simple one. After that, we added counter of photos, how many photos did we take, and after that, we added saving points in some particular moments. So increased this algorithm. I recommend you to do like this, and it is really helps during writing process. One more example of this is, for example, we have overspeeding control, and we need to make it more difficult. So, for example, if we are outside of geofence, we also need to control speed and compare it with some standard speed, for example, 63 kilometers per hour. So we add additional branch. And, for example, if speed is okay, but inside geofence, and we compared it with geofence property, but for some reason speed become more than 200, for example, some mistake in KML file, we also need to react. So we added 2 additional branches for our use case, from such algorithm became like this. So much easier to do it step by step than from the beginning try to write complicated algorithm. Okay, one more important thing for today is flags. So actually, when we need this when we need to remember then we did something. For example, rather often use case, we are checking driver identification situation. So driver is sitting in the car, and after he attach his card, we should unblock the vehicle, for example, unblock the engine line. We are checking, first of all, ignition. Not unblocking the engine line, so we already started ignition, but okay, just doing something, reacting. So if the ignition is on, we check flag is 0 for the first time, yes. So we play, could you please attach your ID card or ID button, and we are checking state of ID button. So if the key is attached, so if this condition is true, so we put flag like 1, so we know that yes, driver attached trusted key, there is no need to play audio file anymore. So we go here, we put flag to 1, we wait a little bit, and then we check ignition. If the ignition is off, we should clear. If no, we are going here, check the state of flag is 1, so trusted key was attached, so no problem, we are just wait and check. And when the ignition will be off, we will clean this flag. And if driver attached not trusted key, so we are going to false branch here, we are checking everything again, ignition, flag, playing audio file, could you please attach the key, and keep playing this audio file until the driver attached the trusted key or until the engine is off. So rather useful thing. For this kind of situation, flags are used.